Heavy weapons are sometimes considered to be overkill weapons in Fallout 4 that make the game very easy, but there are still a lot of people out there who enjoy using them, especially if you're using a heavy weapon strength build. And they can be extremely helpful when you're in a fight and you need something that can do a lot of damage very quickly. So in this video, I will be showing you 10 unique heavy weapons that you don't want to miss. So the first weapon on this list can be found at the Diamond City Market. When you get here, talk to the vendor Arturo and he will be selling the Big Boy. This is an incredible version of the Fat Man launcher, which usually just fires one mini nuke that will do a lot of damage to everything around the explosion. But the downside to the normal Fat Man is that it only fires one nuke at a time, and mini nukes aren't the easiest thing to come across. But the Big Boy will actually fire 2 mini nukes every time you pull the trigger, and the second mini nuke will be free. This will essentially double the damage output of the weapon and double your ammo count for free. The next weapon on this list will come from the Big Dig side quest in the Good Neighbor settlement, which can be started by entering the alleyway behind the gun store near the entrance of Good Neighbor. This will be a pretty easy side quest that shouldn't take you too long to complete, but at the end of it you will be given the Ashmaker, regardless of the choices you make during the dialogue section at the end of the quest. The Ashmaker is a unique minigun that only comes with a base damage of 8, but it will also have a perk on it that will set targets on fire, doing additional damage over time to every target that you set on fire. And due to the weapon having such a high rate of fire, it's very easy to spray it around and keep enemies on fire, slowly melting their health away. After you get the Ashmaker, you can head back to Good Neighbor and talk to Cleo in the gun shop. And she will be selling the Party Starter Missile Launcher. This is an amazing heavy weapon to use when you're dealing with human enemies, as it will do a lot of damage by itself, but the perk on this weapon will make the weapon do 50% more damage against humans, making it a great weapon to use when you're dealing with a big group of raiders or difficult human bosses. To get the next weapon, you will need to start and complete the Best of 3 quest. This will be another very short side quest, and at the end of it you will encounter a boss that will be using one of the best heavy weapons in the game. And if you defeat him, you can take this weapon for yourself. This weapon will be the Tesla Cannon. And like I said, the Tesla Cannon is one of the strongest heavy weapons in the game due to the high damage output on this weapon, which can be increased even more by changing the mods on the weapon and from heavy weapon perks. And it's extremely easy to get as long as you have gear that will protect you in the glowing sea. The 5th weapon on this list will come from the USS Constitution, which will be right here on your map. When you get here, a robot will approach you and tell you to talk to the captain on the ship above you. This will start the last voyage of the USS Constitution side quest. And if you side with the captain at the end of the quest, you will be given the Broadsider weapon. This is a very unique looking cannon weapon that can do a ton of damage and uses cannonballs as ammo. In terms of raw damage output, there aren't many weapons out there that will do better than the Broadsider. To get the next heavy weapon on this list, you will need to start the Crucible side quest. This quest should already be in your quest log. During this quest, you will end up jumping into a cauldron at the Sagus Ironworks location. And here you will find the Ghoul Slayer's Heavy Incinerator. This thing can be a beast of a weapon to use when you're fighting big packs of ghouls, as the perk on this weapon makes the weapon do 50% more damage to ghouls. So with its high base damage and this perk, you can quickly take out ghouls. To get the next weapon, you will need to head over to Far Harbor and talk to the vendor Alan Lee. This vendor will be selling the Admirals Friend legendary harpoon gun. When I first got back into Fallout 4, I really didn't like harpoon guns, until I got my hands on the Admirals Friend. And that's because it can do so much damage, and it's a great weapon to use as an opening attack, especially on difficult enemies. This is due to the perk on the weapon, which makes the weapon do double damage if the target is at full health. And with a base damage of 150, the perk will double that to 300. Add on a sneak attack bonus and some heavy weapon skills, and using this weapon you can one-shot most of the difficult enemies in the game. The next two weapons on this list will come from the Nuka World DLC. The first Nuka World weapon will be the NAA Nuke Launcher. This is another modified version of the normal Fat Man, but this weapon will fire Nuka nukes, which will do a lot more damage than mini nukes. To get this weapon, you will need to find Sierra, who will be walking around Nuka World USA, and she will have a questline for you, and at the end of that questline you will have to choose between Sierra and Brad Burton. If you side with Brad Burton, you will get the NAA Nuke Launcher. After this, you will need to complete the main storyline of the Nuka World DLC. Once this is done, new challengers will start to spawn in the Kolakar arena. There will be 6 unique challengers in total that can spawn into this arena, but we want to focus on the 6th challenger, who will be named the Rogue Knight. If you defeat the Rogue Knight, you will be able to loot the Eternus off of his body. This is another weapon that I really just can't get enough of due to the perk on it that makes it so you will never need to reload this weapon. And because it's a Gatling laser weapon, it uses fusion cores as ammo. So this perk actually breaks the weapon, as the fusion core will never run out, allowing you to fire this weapon forever. And the final heavy weapon on this list is actually a weapon that I didn't even know counted as a heavy weapon, and that will be the Cryolator. To get this weapon, you will need to head back to Vault 111 and unlock the Cryolator display case that is found in the Overseer's office. Like I said, I didn't even know the Cryolator counted as a heavy weapon, but seeing as it is, you can make this already powerful weapon even better by modifying it and using heavy weapon skills. By itself, the Cryolator is an amazing weapon, and I found myself using it more and more. And those are 10 incredible heavy weapons that you don't want to miss, especially if you're using a heavy strength build. But I would love to know which heavy weapons you like to use the most. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.